Why do bad things happen to good people, Ben?
Talking about.
The Giants, man. Why are they so bad? Am I being punished? What have I done?
Wait a second. Wait. Are you being pessimistic?
Well, of course I'm being pessimistic. How could I possibly be optimistic, Ben? One run.
Listen, dude. No. You cannot be pessimistic already. It's not even April. Okay? If you're being pessimistic, that means I have to be optimistic.
I don't care. I can't do it. It's too hard, Ben. It's too hard.
What makes you think I can do it? I can't be pessimistic for 6 hours. I cannot be optimistic for 6 months.
That's right. You can't. Wait a minute. Bad things don't happen to good people. They happen to bad people. This is your fault. You're the reason that they're bad. All I need to do now is to convince you that they're good, and this will all change. You see, Ben, they weren't having bad at-bats, just unlucky results. Chapman is always streaky. Adames is off to a slow start, that's all. This will all be fine. You just need to believe. Hit it, Bob!
Welcome to Giant Cocktails, where the humor is elite, but the baseball sucks. Oh yeah, here are your hosts, Ben and Matthew Henry.
Bob keeping it real in season 6.
Wow. First of all, Bob really loved the guitar, man. That was nice.
He's been practicing a lot.
Yeah,
I
way
can tell.
to get your work done. One show too late. But hey. And wow, man. Yeah. Thanks for keeping it real, I guess.
He's not wrong, though. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all, dude. He's not wrong at all. Oh.
When we came up with the concept of "but the baseball sucks," I thought, we'll play that every now and then. I didn't think it was going to be right off the bat, Ben. I didn't think it was going to be like the first one.
Yeah, well, and it has the potential to just keep on going. It was pretty bad.
Anyway, this is episode 353 of Giant Cocktails. Welcome. Did you know, Ben, that Derek Rodriguez, you know him, you remember him, right? Had a .353 winning percentage, a 6-11 record, when he made 16 starts and appeared in 28 games in 2019. Yes, that was the first year of the Farhan Zaidi era, and sadly, the last season under Bruce Bochy. The interesting thing is, he also had 5 hits in 29 at-bats for a 172 batting average, which is better than all but 3 current Giant players.
Wow. Yeah, I remember Derek. How do you spell Derek? I'm not finding him in Baseball Reference. Oh,
Dereck, the only player in Major League history to have his name spelled like that.
Yeah, it's like wreck, like wreck. Like, oh wow, that was a wreck. Man, he played until he was 31. He appeared in 4 games that year. Huh.
He was a scrapper, man. He was the epitome of like a guy that was just trying to like get his 15 minutes of fame. And I think he got like maybe 16 minutes before it all fizzled out.
Well, yeah, like I said, he pitched until 2023. 2019 Giants, man. Like, what an appropriate team to bring up during the beginning of this 2026 season. One of the all-time least memorable Giants teams. It was the first year of Farhan Zaidi and the last year of Bruce Bochy. That's notable.
That's notable. That's why I put it in there. That's really all you remember about that season.
True.
Isn't it time for the booze, boys?
Yes, Bob, it is. Thank you for asking.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, when your team starts out 0-3 especially in the way that the Giants have started out 0-3, you make the booziest cocktail you can find, and you call it 0-3. I will tell you all about it, if I'm sober, at the end of the episode.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Bob, I'm sorry to make an already downer episode more of a downer, but unfortunately, for the second time in 363 days, I have had to say goodbye to a furry friend, and that happened on Saturday, and I am making a cocktail in honor of my cat, named after one Brian Wilson all the way back in 2011. Today I'm drinking a cocktail I'm calling the Do It for Wilson. And I can tell you this, when the Giants had their first opportunity to do it for Wilson on Saturday, they didn't. They sucked. They sucked, Bob. They sucked. And that's what I'm drinking, dude. I'll tell you what's in it at the end of the episode. Let's move along.
Anyway, Ben, first, I'm sorry about Wilson. He has a long history in the Henry family. One of my fondest memories is of my then 3-year-old grabbing Wilson's face, and I have an iconic photo of Wilson making a very human-like what the
Fire truck
face. And I will always remember that. And he was such a furry, lovable guy. He's just one of those ones that you just wanted to like wrap in your arms because he was so furry.
Yeah. He was a big old fluff ball. He was nothing like Brian Wilson, the person. I will say that. Yeah, he was nothing. All he wanted to do was lay down and, occasionally have you rub his big fat furry belly, which I did for 15 years. Yes, she grabbed his tail, not his face.
Well, yes, he grabbed his tail, but the photo I have is his face going
correct.
like,
correct.
Like, and
yes.
it's hilarious.
It's an iconic photo for sure.
All right. Well, today, Ben, is Sunday, March 29th, as we record this podcast. The unusual Sunday where no Giants have played today. They got their 3 games of misery out early because of their Wednesday start. Sadly, the Giants are 0-3. And 0-3 in their last 3 games. And they were 0-3 against the Yankees. Because we give, usually, in every season, the update on how they are overall and what they did since the last time we recorded. And so,
yeah,
that's why I did that.
That's why you just really want to emphasize that they're 0-3. You said it 3 times, equal to the number of times that they lost. I noticed.
That's right. Equal also to the number of really strong booze that I have in my cocktail.
Right. Okay. See, I see what you're doing here.
All right. Well, what are we going to talk about today? And folks, I know you come here to feel good. You come here for the humor. You come here for like Matthew and Ben will entertain me during this miserable, god-awful season. And we're going to do our best to live up to that. But what are we going to talk about? Well, first, things we've noticed. There are some things that we've noticed. We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about our way too soon overreactions. It's only 3 games, folks. They got 159 games left. Had to take off my shoes and count my toes on that one, but I think I got it right. And so we're going to talk about that. But first, tidbits. Ben, the Giants are unprecedented. They are doing things never before seen in the history of the Giants franchise.
And baseball.
Isn't that the coolest thing that you have ever seen?
I mean, they say, Matthew, every day you go to the park, you're going to see something that's never happened, And
And I think that that's a cliche, that's overplayed,
Right.
that's just not true. I mean, there have been thousands and thousands and thousands of games, and there's just no way that idiom is true. And then yet we keep seeing things that have never happened before.
certainly never to the Giants. Yeah, Matthew. I would say that's true. Did you have one? I think there's a whole segment of facts coming out of that, but is there one in particular that you would like to point out?
Well, when I wrote this was after Friday's game, I guess. And it was, wow, the Giants doing unprecedented things. 2 consecutive shutouts to open the season for the first time in franchise history. And we will dig into that a little bit later. But yeah, that's an unprecedented thing, Ben, that wasn't on my bingo card.
Well, I see that despite our little intro, you're just throwing the optimism out the window. So I did have a little tidbit I'd like to add before we move on to the rest of the show.
Oh, please do, because I need a little optimism.
Well, it's optimistic. It's a happy thing. It's actually one of the few, I think, really bright spots of the season so far. I mean, besides individual plays, Elliot Ramos threw a guy out at home. Harrison Bader really made that nice sliding catch. The Giants had an RBI. There were things that happened that were good. And one of those things was Logan Webb struck out Aaron Judge 3 times on opening night, which I think we did discuss. And Aaron Judge ended up striking out 4 times that night. But what we didn't realize, or at least I didn't realize, and we didn't mention on the show, the Aaron Judge strikeout in the 4th inning was Logan Webb's 1,000th career strikeout. And I think he's got a lot more in him, considering because the way the guy pitches. So, but still, a very cool milestone to have against a very, very talented player on a night where he struck out 7, and 3 of those were Aaron Judge. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
So Logan Webb's career 998th, 999th, and 1,000th were Aaron Judge or something like that?
Something like that. No, because he struck out. He had 4 other strikeouts, so I don't know where Aaron Judge fell exactly, but sure, yeah, let's just say that he was number 998, number 999, and 1,000. Yeah, let's just say it that's the way it went, even though that's not the way it went.
That's right. Okay.
But yes,
okay,
yes,
all right, suck it, Aaron Judge.
Yeah, suck it, Aaron Judge.
Okay, we should probably get going on things we've noticed.
Things we've noticed in just 3 games.
In 3 games. And I did watch all 3 games. I got to admit, Wednesday and Saturday's game not being, Giants produced games was really difficult to watch.
Yeah, not great.
Is it just my imagination, or is whenever a national, Fox or Netflix, in the case of opening night, do a game with the Giants, that they just really get excited about the opponent and that we never hear anything about the Giants? I feel like they were just so excited about the freaking Yankees and their storied franchise on Wednesday night, and then Fox just wanting to just slobber all over the Yankees on Saturday.
Yes. I do think that. I think what they like is the setting. So they like the ballpark. They like the bay. They like the stadium. Which
kayakers in the Kamikowi Cove.
Yeah, they like the water. And they like to take something cool like that and ruin it, like Netflix did by sticking all of those stupid red kayaks into the water. And what did they do? Did they pay people to get in those kayaks? Because there's not that many kayaks. And so were those just all Netflix employees or Netflix shills? Were those just all DoorDashers who got a special gig assignment, come sit in a raft and get paid? It was too many and it looked fake. So no, Matthew, you're not wrong in that. I think the Giants are an afterthought. What they want is the setting. And the reason I know that, Matthew, is because nobody really wants to celebrate a mediocre team that always mires itself in mediocrity. That doesn't put eyeballs on the television screen. But, it's nice to have something that can draw the people in, like a storied franchise and a playoff team with future Hall of Famers on it, playing in a nice background. So you can't really blame him, my friend.
If only we had guys that could hit the ball. Anyway, one thing that I wanted to mention to you, Ben, was that Luis Arraez, our new second baseman,
if you can
much
call him
has
that.
been made of his, let's say, subpar ability to field the position.
Yes, agreed. I've been one of those people.
Yeah, well, and not the only one, right?
No.
I mean, this has been well documented. And I gotta say, he has made some really impressive plays at second base. You know, like he has made tough fields and throwing guys out at home. I mean, he has done some really good plays. What I did notice in a couple of like overhead shots of balls hit to the right side is that the man doesn't have much range.
No. You know, and I can't blame him.
No.
I don't have much range.
So, well, and neither do I.
Right.
At 54.
But
I think when I was like his age, I probably had a little bit more than him.
You have more than me at my age.
But like I feel like he has been given he's gotten a bad rap, and he's actually fielded the position rather well. Like I thought in my mind, and I hadn't watched a whole lot of Luis Arraez play second base prior to him joining the Giants. But what I did picture in my mind was him just having like a lead glove, like balls just bouncing off his glove, him just being a total doofus when it comes to fielding a little white orb.
Right.
But that wasn't the case. Like he's actually pretty adept, and maybe Ron Washington is already working his magic. But when the ball is hit to him and he can field it, he's actually pretty good. So I think, Ben, this was all to do about nothing. Range be damned. What do you think?
I think that is a very optimistic and Matthew-like statement, and I'm glad you're back. Welcome. Thank you for joining the show, Matthew. You're 15 minutes too late. I also think it's stupid because that's my role, and you already pointed out the flaw in your argument, which is he doesn't have range. So sure, he makes all the plays he does get to, but he's not going to get to a lot of plays that a normal second baseman would, and that's the silent killer. Slowly over the season, you're going to see his negative numbers go up and up and up because he's simply not going to get to balls that other guys would have. And that is the insidiousness of having a player like him at a key position like that. You need that range, but you won't really notice it when it's gone, but you will notice as the losses pile up.
Well, I think we had mentioned at some point earlier in this in the preseason that Logan Webb might be one of the ones that would, over time, really miss having a second baseman with range. I feel like that's probably even more so now. Like I think after seeing him, Logan Webb really does benefit from having good infielders because the ball is almost always hit on the ground. And it just boggles my mind that we have been hearing from leadership that they want to get better defensively. And yet the only time that we have ever done that is by signing Matt Chapman.
Well, I'm Harrison Bader. I think the outfield has gotten a little bit better.
Okay.
But
that's right.
But,
him racing in with his hat flying off.
Yeah. So
I get it.
I mean, it's an interesting point, but I think they're also trying to balance that with keeping the lineup productive at the plate, and so it's a hard thing to do. But yeah, Matthew, yeah, I think what this organization has been doing for the past few seasons is they've been trying to be too cute by finding bargains when they should just be going out and spending or developing great players. You know, I'd take either one. So that's one thing we noticed for sure. But another thing that we noticed, or at least that I noticed, was the behaviors and non-behaviors, and especially the quotes of one manager Tony Vitello.
Yes.
The Giants haven't gone off to a good start. Tony still doesn't have his first victory. They did score the first run underneath him, but he's had to do a lot of explaining. He's suddenly confronted right off the bat with this sort of like, why isn't this team hitting? And this isn't like, it's not like they're saying to him, why is your bullpen bad? Because like, I think we all know like that would not have been a surprising outcome. But here he's having to explain why a lineup that was actually anticipated to be very good is suddenly non-existent. And he's said some things. He said some things that were pretty interesting. But and I think a lot of people. He had one particular comment where he used the words like tryhards and fire and brimstone speeches in the clubhouse. And I think you could take all of those the wrong way. But what he was actually saying in that statement was maybe I made too much, like I put too much pressure on them with my preseason speech. Because that's the fire and brimstone speech that he was talking to, was preseason. Yeah. It was before the season started. He was like, maybe I was too like rah-rah.
Well, I think that, he was doing the right thing in trying to take some of the heat off of the players.
Yeah.
And that's what a good leader does. And so I was happy to see that he was like, I'll take some of that heat.
Right.
But then the players, when they were informed of his words, were like, yeah, that's not right. Like they were like, I appreciate him saying that, but we're the ones swinging the bat, and we got to do better.
Right. And I think the point is that I think some of the scuttlebutt that I saw was saying that Vitello shouldn't have had like these fiery speeches in the clubhouse. It's too early in the season. Well, first of all, that speech was before the season started, and it was the beginning of the season speech. So those of you who think that, you're a moron. And then he was saying that like, a lot of Gen Z, Matthew, they don't like the word try hard because that's a negative term about a guy playing a video game. Okay, maybe that's a young millennial thing. I don't know. I get those two generations confused. Oh, man.
Well, I
don't get them confused. I know the differences, kids. Calm down.
I just think that Tony Vitello trying to take the heat is a good thing. And a fire and brimstone speech is exactly what you would expect from Tony Vitello. This was no secret. He was hired because he's full of energy and he's 180 degrees different than Bob Melvin, right? And this is what the Giants wanted. Unfortunately, they haven't gotten off to the start they want, but I don't think we can blame Tony Vitello quite yet for the Giants 0-3 start.
No, I would agree with that. But can we nitpick some of his decisions anyway?
Oh, always.
Okay.
Always
right.
Nitpick, Ben.
Okay.
Now... Oh, were you going to nitpick?
I was going to nitpick. I just wanted to point out a couple of things. Number one,
okay.
I think there was a situation where Jung Hoo came up facing a lefty with ducks on the pond, and they let him swing away. And instead of bringing a righty off the bench, of which, they have some, Matthew, because I know that, because they don't have any lefties on the bench. So everybody else, unless you can't count Matt Gage, and, I still think that maybe they should try that out. But nonetheless... They have a lot of right-handed bats on the bench. They could have brought him up. And I get it. Tony Vitello, new player to him, he doesn't necessarily know. But I know that Jung-Hoo Lee cannot be trusted on to do anything other than ground out weakly to second base. So I would have liked to have seen a little movement there.
Well, and that is something that I did notice too, that and I don't know if it was, I remember that there being a game, one of the games where it was late in the game, 8th inning, nobody on, but you were down by a couple runs and you needed a guy to get on. And it seemed like that would be a good opportunity with Jung-Hoo Lee leading off to pinch hit with like Oliva or one of those guys that could maybe get on base against a tough left-hander.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that.
I think I'm conflating two different scenarios. You're right. I'm combining them into one just because of my anti-JHL bias. My apologies.
Which is fair.
Which is fair.
The hooligans will come get you later.
Yeah. My apologies.
But I think that the point is that Jung-Hoo Lee, in his short career so far, has shown that he's not really adept at hitting lefties. And I know they want to get him every chance to be an everyday player, but I think if this continues, at some point they're going to have to concede that in a close game late in the game, and you've got all these right-handers on the bench, you got to make that move. You got to make that move. Jared Oliva can go out and play center. You got to make that move. And they didn't do that early on. That will be something to follow. Like, is that something that's going to be an issue going on later? And I know they want Jung Hoo to kind of get all the confidence he can get, but history has shown so far that he's not that great against lefties. And I think at some point you got to kind of make that decision.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where Tony's got to make that decision.
I agree. And I think what we're seeing right now from Vitello is he's not trying to rock the boat. And it is too early to rock the boat. But I think that was interesting that we still haven't seen. We've seen Oliva make some place a defensive replacement, got no ABs, no plate appearances, and we had not seen Koss or Encarnacion at all. And I think that had this lineup been productive, had they been doing even just a normal amount of offensive production, we would have seen both of those guys at least have a plate appearance by now. And we haven't. And so I do feel like that's maybe Vitello trying to get the normal, regular guys more at bats and not not yanking them and making them feel like they're already, or just having to sit with that on the bench, right? Like, I think that's what he's trying to do. I do think it's interesting that we haven't seen those guys, because usually you try to get everybody into a game within the first 3 games and just get everybody established. But he hasn't done that, I think, because the offense has been so bad.
Yeah, well, I think he's probably trying to get the regulars going first.
Yeah,
and I guess that makes sense.
It's like, way to go, guys. Way to make this easy on your brand new manager. Way to go. Just thumbs up, guys. Like, and if you know that you're all responsible, maybe just loosen up a little bit. Take some X-Lax and have a nice cocktail, and go into San Diego and try not to choke up so hard.
Another thing that I noticed was Elliot Ramos. A lot was said about his defensive liability in left field last year. And I know that he's worked a lot on his game and his defense this year. But one of the things that stood out to me, there was one in particular play, and I think, and again, after a while, the games start to blend together. It was either the first or second game where, I think it was the first game, where he fielded a ball and threw to Adames as the cutoff man going to third instead of to second base. And it allowed the second baseman, or the batter rather, to take an extra base and get into second. And those are the kind of things that we've seen from Ramos that continue to be an issue, right? He can physically play the game, I think. It's the mental aspect. Where am I going to throw the ball? And which is interesting, because I know when I coached Little League, the first thing I told my outfielders before every pitch was, you decide if it's hit to me, what am I going to do with the ball? Right? That shouldn't be a decision made when you're actually fielding it. You should already know what you're going to do with the ball before the ball is hit to you. And Ramos is still struggling a little bit to figure that out. And it was just one game and one decision, but it makes me wonder, like, are we going to keep seeing this from him? Now, I say that knowing that he's our best hitter so far this short 3 games. He's hitting 300. He's had a double. He's done what he needs to do offensively. So maybe this is all ado about nothing, but I think it is something that we need to watch.
Well, my response to that is I'm pro Ramos. I think you, old man sitting in your closet talking about the time that you coached Little League, is I'm just going to point that out, that's what you just did. And I think that's example enough of how ridiculous that was. It reminds me of when I'm telling my Lego guys of like how they should play the game. Like when I'm putzing around with them by myself in my quote unquote home office. He's fine. The man is fine. He's already iced somebody at home plate. Whatever. Freedom for Ramos. Freedom for Ramos.
That was a pretty cool throw that he made, and that was a really nice play.
All right.
So I maybe that's much ado about nothing.
I think, you know what I think? I think you're overreacting.
Oh. You know what I'm not overreacting about, Ben?
What are you not overreacting about?
Our offense is the worst ever. Ever.
Okay, yeah.
We're doomed.
Yeah, I think this is Matthew's way of saying we've moved on to the second segment of the show. It's way too early in the season. Overreactions.
way too soon overreactions.
Yeah, that's right. Are we
But is it though?
I think when you have a series like this, at any point in the season, it's not an overreaction to say that sucked. That was historically bad. That was historically bad, guys. That sucked. And yeah.
And it's easy, Ben, to say.
Yeah. It is easy
that it's only 3 games.
Oh, it is easy.
It's only 3 games, right? And every player in that clubhouse should be saying that.
Yeah.
But folks, let me read to you the number of teams that have been shut out in their first 2 games of the season. How many were there? 16. This is going back to like 1862 or something ridiculous like that, right? I mean, only 16 teams in the history of Major League Baseball have been shut out in their first 2 games of the season. And I was curious, Ben, like, what does that mean? Like, how did those teams like finish the season? How did they do? And 2 of those teams went on to win the pennant.
Well, there you go. See, no problem. I don't know why you're so worried about that.
This is exactly right.
Yeah.
This is exactly right, Ben. So we are going to win the pennant despite being shut out in the first 2 games because it has been done before.
I think what you're saying is we have a 1 out of 8 chance of winning the pennant, which is pretty good because there's 16 teams in the National League, right? Or 14.
Right. I mean, our chances were 15, worse at the start of the
15,
season.
15.
So now you say that the chances have improved.
That's right. So they're way better off. Okay, moving on.
Okay, well, so then game 3 happened.
Wait a second.
And so on the optimistic side of me was like, we scored a run. Woo!
Okay.
We scored a run, Ben.
Okay.
Woo!
Okay. Yeah.
And so then I was like, well, that puts us in like not so unique territory, right? Like that's like now we're normal.
That's right.
Ben, only 11 teams in history have scored 1 or fewer runs in their first 3 games. And then I went and looked at those 11 teams.
Wow, that's rare air, Matthew. 11. 11 teams scored 1 run or less in their first 3 games.
Now, when 2 teams got shut out, 2 won the pennant. Well, after 1 run after 3 games, no team made the playoffs. None of those 11 made the playoffs.
Okay, so you're just saying we went from having a better than normal chance to winning the pennant to now we're not making the playoffs? You're saying like if it's because we only scored 1 run in that 3rd game, we're not going to make the playoffs now? Is that what you're taking it to happen?
That's what I'm saying. History is telling us.
Okay. Well, it feels that way.
History
it feels
is telling us that.
Yeah.
Oh, it totally feels that way. Ben, we're not making it.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Exactly, Jim. Exactly.
It's not even Monday after opening day, man. It's not even Monday after opening day. We're already playing Jim Mora.
Ben, only 2 teams had winning records after 1 run in the first 3 games.
Oh, God.
But then, like, that's not even the worst part.
How could it be worse than that?
There were some historically bad teams.
Oh, God.
In those 11.
I can't.
The 1988 Baltimore Orioles, who I think lost their first 16 games in a row.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, I remember they were 0-20.
They went 54 and 107.
Oh my God.
Then there's the infamous expansion New York Mets in 1963, who went 51 and 111.
Oh my goodness. Wow, those are 2 of the worst teams ever to do it. Those are historically bad teams. Like the people wrote books about them.
Exactly.
Okay, this is going to be fine. We're the team of mediocre.
That's all I got, man. That's all I got. I mean, the Minnesota Twins went 83 and 79 after they had 1 run in their first 3 games and started 0-3.
Whoa, that's like 3 games above homeostasis, dude.
That's right. That is 3 games above homeostasis.
Homeostasis, when the Giants are 2 games worse than you think they are.
Thank you, Bob, for that very on-point definition. Okay. Well, Bob, right now, that would mean I would think that they're 0-5. And I got to tell you, it feels that way. It feels that way. It's been 5
According
days.
to that definition, I think the Giants are at homeostasis.
It's been 5 days since the season started, Matthew, and the Giants still haven't won. It feels like 0-5.
It does. It does. So I don't even know. Obviously, past performance does not predict future results, and certainly present performance isn't correlated with things that happened like decades ago.
Yeah.
But it's not pretty.
Well, I mean, here's what it says. Okay, and I do want to say this. What it says is that really bad teams are going to have stretches of 3 games where they only score 1 run. Okay? And so that's why some of the most historically bad teams to ever play baseball are on this list, because they happen to do it during the first 3 games of the season. And the Giants did too. But I bet if we expanded that list to include any games during the season and said a team only scored 1 run, we're going to find a much larger pool of teams that were actually good. Now, the majority of those teams are going to be bad because bad teams are more likely to have that occur to them. That's all this says. It's not indicative that this team is bad. It's indicative of that this team has a higher chance of being bad. But I still believe in this lineup. Okay? I still believe that they can be good. However, I will note that this lineup is not all that different from last year. And that team from last year was an average offense, right, overall?
Yes.
But they were also a very, very good offense at times, right?
Yes.
And so what does that mean? They were also a
really, really bad offense at times.
Yeah, they went through 2 stretches, one of which was 2 months long, of slumping. So we know that this collection of dudes, they know how to slump. So let's hope that 3 games doesn't turn into 2 months, especially to start the season. So Patrick Bailey, if you all know what's going wrong, maybe you guys should figure out how to fix it.
Why Patrick Bailey?
Because he had a quote. He had a quote after day 2. He's like, "Look, I don't know why you're." He was already angry with the press about them asking him about the bad start, and he was like, "We all know what's going on. You don't need to talk about it." Blah 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 blah. Like, you know, it's like the man. He's only 2 days into the season, and the man has forgotten that he's in the entertainment business. You know, it's like you, Matthew, at the beginning of the episode. Like, we're not even in April, and you're already trying to make me be the optimist for the team. But anyway, I will say this. This is my dose of optimism. The offense is not as bad as the 0-for-20 Orioles. Okay.
I just want you to, while you were blabbing away, I did ask StatHead, like, I changed it from the start of the season, 1 run in 3 games from the start of the season to any point. Yes. And there are hundreds and hundreds of examples.
Right.
So your point is well taken.
Yeah.
Like, this is not necessarily indicative of anything, but history shows that it's not great.
It's not a great indicator. And not very many great teams or even playoff teams had a stretch to start the season like that, because playoff teams don't have stretches like that as often. And the fact that you had one right off the bat, not a good sign.
That's right. And our offense being one of the worst of all time, definitely an overreaction. Another overreaction, Ben, perhaps, is that our bullpen is going to be great.
Yeah, this was a big miss for me, Matthew. Like, at the beginning of the season, I have had 2 major misses so far. I said that our offense was going to be great. I said that our starting pitching was going to be mediocre. I'm thanks to Logan Webb, I'm correct on that one. The starting pitching is mediocre because Ray and Malley were pretty good. I mean, Malley could have gone longer, but whatever. 80 pitches, 4 innings, fine. Not great, but fine. But I was also super wrong about this bullpen. Like, we've only given up 2 runs, and they've had to pitch a lot of innings, thanks to Messieurs Webb and Malley. And not like Robbie Ray went super deep either. So our bullpen has thrown a lot of innings, and those kids whose even their parents are like, I can't believe my kid's in the majors. You know, they've been outstanding. So look, like our bullpen's going to be one of the best bullpens in the Major League Baseball all year. You heard it here first. That's my overreaction.
Okay, well, it's hard to disagree with you at this point because right now they're third in the majors with a 143 batting average
against and only they have played the Yankees, and that's the only team they've played. They did that against the vaunted offense of the New York Yankees, a team so tough they scored 7 runs off of 1 Logan Webb.
Exactly, and 6th in WHIP, which, with a 0.95, so they're allowing less than 1 base runner per inning pitch.
0.95 is outstanding.
Outstanding. And the only 2 runs that bullpen has given up were solo homers to 2 of the best home run hitters of all time.
That's right. And honestly, I mean, that Judge one, that was just, look, Lucky just didn't put the cutter where he wanted to, right? Right? He missed his spot.
Well, by a lot.
He did. He did miss it by a lot.
You can't miss it that bad.
Patrick had that glove that glove was on top of Judge's foot. Judge's back foot is where he put the glove, and that ball was like in the umpire's face. That's where it would have gone if Aaron Judge had not, just launched it. Yeah. But whatever. Okay, like you said, 1 minor blemish off of what was otherwise an outstanding, appearance by the bullpen. Like, overall, the pitching staff gave up 3 runs in 2 consecutive days to the Yankees. If you give up 3 runs to any Major League Baseball team, that's a game your team should win. Right? That's a winnable game.
It is.
So I think our mediocre starting pitching, again, only mediocre because of that loser Logan Webb and his, crappy outing. Otherwise, it'd be outstanding. And are absolutely one of the top 5 bullpens in baseball. Go no names.
Great. Go no. We'll come up with a name with them by the end of the season. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, Matthew. Like, look, this offense. Here's my overreaction. You ready for this?
Okay.
My overreaction.
Yeah.
This offense is going to turn it around. Logan Webb is going to be the only guy. That's the only blip they're going to have. The rest of the rotation is going to be outstanding. This bullpen is going to be the polar opposite of what I thought it was. This team is going to win 85 games. I'm giving them an extra game. That's my overreaction.
Wow.
Yeah, the do it for Wilson is really flowing through my blood right now.
It
Wilson's doing it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. What other overreactions could we have? Let's see. Who am I kidding? This is so stupid. they
Fire truck.
fucking suck.
Oh no.
I can't do this, man. Like pretend that they're gonna be good when they're terrible. They're terrible. I mean, I don't even know what to say.
Calm down, Matthew.
Thank you, Bob. I can't do this. I can't do this, Bob.
All right, I need a little time. I need a little time to compose myself because I know I'm supposed to be the optimistic one, Ben.
Uh-huh.
I know that you're just the biggest pessimist ever, and I try to counteract that, but the Giants don't make it easy, man.
I have a solution for this, Bob.
Isn't it time for the booze, boys?
Yes, thank you, Bob. Thank you for getting us out of that. But before we do the booze, we do need to talk about our upcoming opponent.
Ah, yes.
Which, I'm really optimistic about this, Ben. It's the San Diego Padres, the 1 and 2 San Diego Padres. We're only a game behind the Padres. And, I'm going to forget that we went 0 and 32 against the Padres last year.
No, Matthew. It wasn't 0 and 32.
It wasn't?
It was.
Oh, okay, let me look it up.
It was.
Oh, okay. It was 3 and 10.
Well, that's better than 0 and 32.
My bad.
It's better than 0 and 32.
Okay.
That's 3 wins better, right? And this episode's been all about 3.
So what I'm hearing is that it's very plausible that we could be 0-6 after the next 3 games.
That's my line.
No, you're right. You're right. We are getting 4th and 5th starters out of the Padres. I don't know who they are. I didn't even bother to go look. But hey, we need a jump start, and maybe it's in beautiful San Diego.
That's right. And we're having Landon Oop. Yes.
Oop.
Yes, Oop.
Will be one of them.
That's right.
Yes.
And Hauser these wins.
Hauser these wins.
Win is in his name.
It's in his name.
Yeah.
We got this.
Fine.
We got this.
Fine.
We're going 2-1 at least.
Yeah.
No, 3-0
Hey.
because Logan Webb is gonna start.
That's
one
right,
of these
and he's
games.
going to turn it around. He's gonna have washed away the WBC funk.
And I got to tell you, they don't even have to have Roop or Hauser these wins start one of these games. It could be Webb and Ray.
That's right. It could be. I think it's a little
because we've had some rest in between. I think
it's a little early in the season to be
skip
doing
one of
that,
them.
but yes, they could.
No, it's not. It's not. We're 0-3, Ben. It's not early.
All right, it's time to get desperate. Bob, can we do the cocktails?
All right, now Bob asked about the booze. Let's do the booze.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, I'm drinking 0-3, man. 0-3. And it is the strongest drink that I have ever made. And why? What's in it? Well, it has 3/4 ounces of Navy strength gin. 115 proof in this case. 3/4 ounces of Smith and Cross Rum. Also around 115 proof. 3/4 ounces of Orange Curacao, which is just a normal 80 proof. Then 1/4 ounce of Green Chartreuse, which is 110 proof. Then 1/2 ounce of lime juice, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, and 2 dashes Angostura bitters. You're going to shake all ingredients in a shaker with ice until well chilled, and you're going to double strain it either into a chilled coupe, or you could add it to a tiki Collins glass with crushed ice and go tiki with it. You're going to garnish it with an orange twist for the twisted season only the Giants could give us. That's what I'm drinking, folks. The 0-3.
That's a tasty cocktail.
Tasty and boozy. It's actually really good. It's a really good cocktail, but man, I'm drunk. I'm drunk.
I can
and
tell.
I need to be after 0-3, man. I need to be.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Well, thank you for asking, Bob. That's very kind of you. Bob, today I am drinking a cocktail that I am making in honor of my dearly departed furry friend, Wilson, named after none other than former Giants great Brian Wilson, the man on the mound, when the Giants won their first World Series in San Francisco and their first World Series in San Francisco. It was Roma when they won their second. But anyway, I digress. What is in a Do It for Wilson? Well, it has... Well, my boy Wilson was really a water drinker, but I think at heart he was a rum drinker, and I think he also would have liked a nice coffee at around 11 a.m. on Sunday morning when he was just getting up, if he was a human, you know? So I am using a coffee rum from Koloa, Kauai, the Koloa coffee rum. So there's 2 ounces of that. To that, you're going to add Wilson's favorite non-water beverage, milk. You're going to put both of those into a glass with ice, stir to combine, and then you're going to dust them with a dash of cinnamon. And that is how you make a Do It for Wilson. And that's what I'm drinking, Bob.
That's a tasty cocktail.
It was really good. I don't really like coffee rum that much by itself, but well, you mix it with milk and it was fantastic. It was fantastic. Love you, buddy. And that's a wrap. Thank you for joining us. We will be back on Thursday with another episode after the Giants turn their season around against the hated San Diego Padres. If you can't wait that long to get your fix, feel free to find us out there on the social medias where we go by the username Giant Cocktails. If you don't want to do that, at least you could go by Spotify or Apple Podcasts or your other podcasting platform of choice and leave us a positive review. And it's not positive unless what, Bob?
It's not positive if it's not 5-star positive.
Exactly. And also, you can be sure to find us on YouTube, where you can not only comment, but like and subscribe. Matthew, it's been great talking San Francisco Giants with you, even though they suck. Until next time, my friend. Cheers.
Cheers, Ben. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. Do it for Wilson.
Thanks for listening to the Giant Cocktails Podcast. The next round's on me.
The next round's on Bob?
I don't know where he got that. Like he thinks he's just gonna start.
What?
Like he's the cheapest bastard I know. I can't imagine him spending that much.
He's also non-existent. Like he doesn't really exist. He doesn't have any money. You can't have money if you don't exist.
I think he thinks he exists.
I think it's clear he thinks he exists, but boy, that guy's got an ego on him. But I don't see how that could possibly be. That guy exists as much as the Giants' offense exists.
Oh man.
Okay, it's not that bad. He exists more than that.
I know he's been around for.
He's been around for
4
seasons. You're right. He's existed for a while. So I don't know what I was thinking.